Hello, today we are going to have a tutorial on dividing decimals, okay? So before we begin, let's look at some division vocabulary. So if you see the equation in this form, this number is called the dividend. It is the number you will be dividing, okay? This number is called the divisor. That means we are dividing this number with this number. So the dividend is being divided by the divisor. And the answer to a division question is called a quotient. Okay? So the answer is called a quotient. So if you see it in this format, okay, the dividend is inside the house, okay? The divisor is outside, and the quotient is on top, okay? So remember that. So no matter how it looks like, you will know which one is the dividend, which one is the divisor, and which one is the quotient, okay? Because we will be using this vocabulary. So there are certain rules when we are dividing with decimals, okay? So first of all, usually, if there are no instructions, you are asked to divide, and the answer or the quotient, okay, the quotient needs to be rounded to 2 decimal places, okay? So for the first rule, you have to remember when you are dividing and the dividend, okay, the number we are dividing has a decimal, okay, immediately put the decimal on top already so that you don't need to worry about placing the decimal in the answer or the quotient when you're done, okay? And then just look at this like a regular whole number and divide it accordingly, okay? So let's look at the first one. So we are dividing by 12. So look at the first digit. Can you divide 4 divided by 12? Remember, going up, we divide. 4 is less than 12. So technically, there are no sets of 12 in 4. So we need to go to the next place value. So now we are looking at 44. 44, and remember, going up, we divide 44 divided by 12. So how many 12s are in 44? So let's look at the times table of 12. So we have 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. So we need to use 36 because 48 is greater than 44. Cannot be. So we need to use this. So that means there are 3 12s in 44. Note that, okay, I wrote the 3 on top of the place value that we are dividing with. Do not write it here because we are not dividing with this first one. And then you might make a mistake and put a 0 there later on, okay? So put it on the place value that, on top of the place value that we divided, okay? So now, going down, we multiply. So 3 times 12 gives you 36, and we subtract, okay? 44 minus 36, now remember, we need to borrow, so this becomes 3, this becomes 14, and 14 minus 6 is 8. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. So no need to write, okay? So we're done with that. Let's bring down the next digit, which is 2. And then again, going up, we divide. So let's continue our table of 12. So we have 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 7 is 84. Okay, so let's look at this again. Which one are we going to use? We need to divide 82 by 12. So if we use 84, you cannot because it is greater than 82. So we need to use 72. So how many 12s are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 times 6 is 72. So let's put 6 over here. Okay. And remember, going down, we multiply. So 6 times 12 is 72. Subtract. Okay. And we have 2 minus 2, 0. 8 minus 7, 1. Okay. Bring down the next digit. 102. Okay, so now let's look at our table of 12. Let me just resize it a little. Okay. So now we have 84. 84 is less than 102, so we need to continue. So now let's do 12 times 8 would give you 96. And 12 times 9 will give you 108. So look at this. Which one are we going to use? 12 times 8 or 12 times 9? Okay, of course we're using 12 times 8 because it needs to be less than this number. Okay, so let's put 8 over here. And again, going down is multiplication. Okay, so 8 times 12 we know is 96. Subtract. Okay, let's go ahead and borrow. So this becomes, okay, 9. Let's use another color. This becomes 9. And then this becomes 12. So 12 take away 6 is 6. Okay. And 9 take away 9 is 0. So now we need to round to 2 decimal places. So that means we need one more decimal place over here. Okay, because we need to know the digit here so that we know whether to round up or if this remains the same. So let's continue. Okay, we're running out of space. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. Okay. So what are we going to do? I ran out of numbers. No problem. Let's add a 0 there. Okay. And that goes down. Now we have 60. Okay, so let's look at our table of 12. OMG, there's a 60 there. So how many, what do we multiply 12 by to get 60? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 12 times 5 is 60. So let's put the 5 over here. And that totals 60. So that's it. Okay. So we need to round to 2 decimal places. So let's look at this answer, the quotient. 3, okay, 3 and 685 thousandths. So we want to round to this place value. Okay, so we need to look at the next digit. So if the next digit is, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. In other words, greater than or equal to 5. Okay? That means this is rounded up. Okay? So the final answer will be 3 and 69 hundredths, rounding to 2 decimal places. Okay? So every time the next digit is greater than or equal to 5, meaning 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this rounds up. If it is less than 5, this remains the same. Okay? So let's look at the second rule. So the second rule is you cannot divide with a decimal. Okay? So you can't divide with a decimal. You need to make it into a whole number. And you do that by moving the decimal places, the decimal point, okay? So if you look at 1 and 2/10, how can I make this so that the decimal point, move the decimal point so that this becomes a whole number? All you need to do is to move the decimal point to the very right. So when I move it here, I will actually have 12. And 12 is a whole number, okay? So let's move this. So now it's over there. 12 is a whole number, okay? But there's a problem. Whenever you do anything to the divisor, you need to also do it to the dividend, okay? So you might say, but miss, where is the decimal point here? It is hiding, it's invisible. There always is a decimal point after the units, okay? So there's your decimal point, and what do? We need to move it one also, because we move this one decimal place to the right, we need to move this one decimal place to the right as well. So what are we going to do? There's a gap, okay? You put a 0. So now this decimal point is over here, and then you now can divide, okay? So let's start dividing. Let me just copy our table of 12 from this side, okay? Again, going up, okay? Going up, we divide. So 44 divided by 12, we know is 36. So that's 1, 2, 3. Going down, we multiply. So 3 times 12 is 36. And then we subtract. Okay. And you're left with 8. Bring down 2. So you have 82. And looking here again, we know that we're using this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know there are 6 groups of 12 in 82, and that's 72. Okay, so this is 10. We bring down the next digit, which is a 2. Okay, so let's look at this. We have 102. We're using this, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know there are 8 sets of 12. So let's put in 96, and we subtract. Okay, so that's 6. Then we need to continue on. Okay, bring down the 0. 60. There is 60, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means there are 5 sets of 12 in 60. And that's it. So this is the answer, the quotient. So 4,442 divided by, remember before it was 4,422 divided by 1 and 2/10. So the answer will be 3,685. Okay, so remember that rule. Okay, so that concludes this tutorial. Sorry for the background music. Okay, the next tutorial will go and look at the Padlet. Okay, some Padlet questions. Okay, bye bye.